Hey everyone, Dr. Phillips here with Texas Chiro Health. As you can tell, our format for our 12 Minutes to Health tonight is a little bit different. We have Dr. Stevens in McKinney and Dr. Downs up in Lakewood doing a live presentation along with what I'm doing on Facebook tonight. So they'll be there in the office for you to answer questions. They have refreshments, green drinks, water, everything you can talk about. So we want to start to build that a little bit. It's kind of a patient appreciation so that you guys can come in each Tuesday, bring a friend with you. If you're a new patient, make sure you get in and get your questions answered. And if you're an existing patient and you want to be in there, come on in. We'll do a little appreciation every Tuesday, and you guys can join us and get questions answered and enjoy some refreshments and things like that as well. So as always, we like to keep this to 12 minutes to just take one topic each night and kind of educate you guys on how to live a healthier lifestyle. So we're looking at eating better, we're looking at moving more exercise, and we're talking about thinking better and controlling our stress and managing and being resilient from a stress standpoint. So that's kind of the main message every week is eat well, move well, and think well. And tonight we're going to focus on the eating side and particularly weight loss and how omega-3 fatty acids play into weight loss. So we're going to take a look at the research there. Give me just a second. Let me share my screen with you here. There we go. Okay. So tonight we're looking at the omega-3s and how they aid in weight loss, but not just weight loss, but prevention of weight gain as well is what this study found. And we'll dig into the study as we normally do. We like to share a study with you each week. It's our commitment to you to continue to go through the research, and not just any research, but the best available research, so that we can make sure that we're getting you an unbiased opinion on the evidence that's out there for how to eat, move, and think at a higher level so that you can live at a healthier and happier lifestyle. So tonight we're going to be looking at a study by Li and Huang, and it's called The Anti-Obesity Effects of Conjugated Linoleic Acid, Docosahexaenoic Acid, and eicosapentaenoic acid. So basically that's EPA, DHA, and then another one you don't normally find in your omega-3s, but is also a polyunsaturated fat, which is the conjugated linoleic acid. And one of the big things to point out here is just how kind of the landscape has changed in weight loss, right? So years ago when they started the food pyramid, I'm sure a lot of you remember when the food pyramid came out, they based it off of a grain base. Well, we're kind of moving away from that right now, right? We got into this whole thing through kind of the late 80s or into the 90s where fats were bad for you. And what we found out was that was mainly the sugar companies advertising. And it's again why we do such detailed work in making sure that we're not giving you research that's based off of advertising, because that's exactly what the sugar companies did. They said fats are bad, we need to get them out of food, so we did. We had more diet foods in America than anywhere in the world, and because of that we became the fattest country in the world, which led to us being the least healthy country in the world, and the effects of that are still around 30-40 years later. So we're trying to get over that, and it's with research articles like this that we can start to understand how fats are actually helping us, especially the fats that we find in our omega-3 fatty acids. So there's a lot of physiology to get into with this. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. I'm just going to kind of hit the headlines for you, and then we'll talk a little bit about it at the end too. So this study that they did, what they did was they broke these fats into separate. They didn't just give an omega-3 that had DHA and EPA and DPA and those types of fats in it. They actually broke the individual fats out so that they could watch how they reacted in the body and what they actually did. So what they found out, all the fats that they used were the polyunsaturated fatty acids like we were talking about. But when they used these, what they found out was that we started to promote weight and fat loss. Like people taking these good high quality fats started losing fat, which was kind of against the normal way of thinking years ago. But we started to realize that it's stopping fats from even forming and storing in our body because of the pathways that they follow. Because these fats are so prominent in our body, because our brain is made up of primarily these fats, especially the neocortex layer that makes us human beings, it makes us Homo sapiens, right? Our species that we are. our body uses them regularly when we put them in there. And when we don't, we're starving for them and we're creating further inflammation and things like that. So by having these fats present, we're not actually storing fats anymore. We're using them, and we're using them in our brain. We're using them in our joints. We help curve inflammation, all sorts of big benefits from this. But in this study, one that they noticed was weight loss in particular. It starts to enhance what they call thermogenesis. So thermogenesis is just where we have our fat stores and we go into those fat stores and we break them down for energy. And a big part of that is because when we eat more of these fats, we have less cravings for, like the carbohydrates and things like that, that immediately turn into sugar in our blood. So when we immediately have that sugar, we can use it for energy. But when we have more of these fats, we use the fats. We start breaking down our other fats because it's a great source of energy. That's why the keto diet became so popular. And I mean, if you look at the keto diet, it's a lot of what we need to eat anyways. I'm not a huge proponent of any one fad diet versus the other, but what you'll notice is that when you look at the keto diet, it's very similar to how we evolved and the things that we need to eat to feed our bodies. And that's where you see a high intake of fats and these good polyunsaturated fatty acids. So it starts to lead to thermogenesis and the breakdowns of fats. It prevents our body from storing fat for the exact same reasons. We're using it, our brain is getting fed, inflammation is down in our body because we have these good fats in. So it's a really big thing for us to see there. And then the biggest thing that probably came out of it is what it does in prevention of diabetes and obesity. So when we have these there are certain receptors on our insulin receptors. So where insulin goes to, feed the whole chain of sugar coming out of the blood and knowing when to eat, when not to eat, that whole balance that takes place, the omega-3s actually increase the sensitivity of the insulin receptors. So what we're seeing is people who take these fats in aren't as hungry all the time. They have a right blood sugar balance. Their brain is getting fed the fats that they need. And overall, they're using the fats in their body and they're becoming healthier while losing weight. And I think if you look at, our whole basis of eat well, move well, think well, you're going to notice that it's going to lead to weight loss. There was a time, probably about 4, maybe 5 years ago, where I started doing some weight loss, a weight loss program here in the office. And, being healthy requires losing some weight sometimes. So I really wanted to look into how do we get rid of the obesity epidemic that's around the world, right? So I said, okay, let's help people lose weight. Well, the part that I was missing out on when I did it then was I didn't do the 12 minutes to health. I didn't educate people on how to live a healthier lifestyle. So people would lose weight. That wasn't an issue. You can always cut some calories and stick to it for a period of time or whatever it is. But the recidivism rate was huge. And I was doing my best to educate people on how to keep it going. When I know some of my colleagues that were doing it, they were having troubles with that as well. And the recidivism rate for them was huge. I mean, it's a really high number when you look at it. How many people put the weight back on plus more and more weight, right? Because of the habits that we've created and the things that we go back to and the way we starved ourselves to get us to a point to where we lost weight in that first place. So what I really started focusing on and what I've brought into the office since is a 90-day lifestyle plan based around eating well, moving well, and thinking well. And at the time, I did it to help people change their habits. So it's 90 days. You can ask about it in the office. If you're in the office tonight, the docs will help explain it a little bit. But we do it with all of our patients as we get to a point of maintenance. Once we get rid of the symptoms and everything like that, we look at a 90-day lifestyle plan. And these are huge, true lifestyle habit changes, right? And it's all done online. You get your emails every day and it tells you what to eat and how to move and a positive thought exercise or some gratitude or different things like that help you just live a healthier lifestyle. But what I noticed when I first implemented it is, yeah, people lost weight, but they kept the weight off because they changed their habits. They changed their lifestyle. They didn't just go on a calorie restricted diet here for a little bit. They went in and made true habit changes. And they saw the benefits of it They felt better. They had less inflammation. They lost weight. They kept it off. Their joints felt better. They were able to move more. They had less stress, all because they changed those habits. So make sure you ask one of the docs the next time you're in the office about a 90-day lifestyle plan. If you're a wellness patient or a maintenance patient right now, make sure that if you're on the 90-day lifestyle plan, you're asking for help, you're reading the emails and doing it right, and just getting all your questions answered. And that's what these Tuesday nights are about for us. So as always, we're working with a charity right now. We're still working with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're taking $39 donations from them, and that's our way of just removing all the barriers to help some people out, because weight loss is one thing, and I do think it's an important topic, and it's very important for health, but that's our whole mission, is to help people, one, get out of pain, but two, get healthy. And I know sometimes that sounds like a big mountain to climb, and part of the reason it sounds like a big mountain is because there's costs involved. And even if we don't know the costs, we always assume that they're really high. So the first thing we like to do is take away that first barrier, that first part of the mountain, right? We still got a lot of work to do, but if we can do our part and just reduce that down, that includes your x-rays, your spinal health exams, your consultation, all that stuff. And then the $39, as always, goes to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of North Texas here to help out families and kids in need in the area. So what I want you to do is try to think of one person that could maybe learn something from tonight, or maybe this helps them, just knowing that there's a place where they can help change their habits and get rid of some of the bad habits that they're having. I want you to pass this on to one person tonight or tomorrow. It'll be around on Facebook here for a little bit, but just pass it on to one person you think it could help, and let's help get them some questions answered. And for those of you in the office tonight, go ahead and make sure you take advantage of the time you're in the office, get your questions answered tonight, and let's all get healthy together. That's our 12 minutes to health tonight, guys, and I appreciate you joining in. Make sure you like this and share it, and get it to that one person that you care about. And we'll talk to you next week. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys.